What's going on, FSU famo? You already know who I am. It's your boy, Polk County Noel. We about to start the season off. It is game week. Georgia Tech to start the season off. Season kickoff this Saturday, 3 p.m. on ABC. We are ready, and we about to talk Noles versus Yellow Jackets today. We got our preview and predictions. So, without any further ado, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm ready. The GOAT behind me is ready, watching over this preview video. Let's get it started. Hey, this is one of those games, man, where on paper, FSU should dominate from front to back. But we got our own issues we got to work on. First, let's talk about Georgia Tech, right? And we look at Georgia Tech, man, and I did my research on them. Not going to pretend like I watched a bunch of Georgia Tech games last year, because I didn't. Did my research on them, man. There's really not a lot to go off. Georgia Tech was pretty bad last year. They were 2-10, with one of those wins being over Miami. But with that said, yeah, Georgia Tech, man, there's just not a lot to really look at and go and be worried about. So, if we start with the quarterback situation, you got the incumbent starter who people think will start the season in James Graham, 6'1", 192 pounds. But, man, his numbers from last year are terrible. I mean, you're talking 12-7 TD to interception ratio with a 45% completion percentage. That's pretty bad. And I didn't write it here, but I don't believe he even broke 2,000 yards passing. That's pretty bad. Now, to Georgia Tech's defense, they are in a mass rebuild. Under Paul Johnson, man, they were running that triple option for years. They got a new head coach. They're running a new system, new direction going forward. And quite frankly, that team is loaded with a bunch of triple option guys. From the offensively, they are loaded with offensive linemen who are, designed to block that way. If I'm using the word correctly there, that they were coached for years to block that way. Same thing with these running backs. That's the one bright spot on this offense, I believe. But we'll get to the running backs. And they are in a tough position. But you got James Graham. I just gave you his numbers. Man, Jeff Sims. Jeff Sims is the guy who, if you think about this team going forward, me personally, with this year being the unique situation that it is, I would not, at least not against Florida State and that defensive front that he's going to be facing, I wouldn't start Jeff Sims in this game. Probably wouldn't play him. I don't know if you want to get Jeff Sims killed in this first game. With that said, he's a possibility to play in this game. If not start, and with Graham not being, in my opinion, the best quarterback option, Sims is probably the most talented guy of the group, and would not be surprised if you saw Jeff Sims. But outside of that quarterback room, man, you got running backs. Now, running backs may be the one bright spot, because you got Jordan Mason, ran for almost 1,000 yards last year, ran for 899, so he ran for 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. So he's, probably, I won't say that he's the most talented, but most consistent player on that team. I think the running back position is the one position on Georgia Tech that could easily make the transition from the triple option. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the most talented player on that offense, in my opinion. That dude's a beast. I expect to see some Jahmyr Gibbs get some carries in this game. But Jordan Mason would be the one consistent player they have on the offense. And at wide receiver, there's really not much to talk about. Again, you're talking about a triple option team. But Marquez Ezzard, I think, is the name. If you're an FSU fan, that name may sound familiar to you. That was a guy that we were recruiting and was all points were signing. Taggart makes the jump over to Florida State. They stop recruiting him. He signs with Miami. Now he has transferred from Miami over to Georgia Tech. So Ezzard is a name to potentially look out for. He is a Georgia native. And with him being recruited by Florida State, that might be a game for him. But they got to give him the ball, and I don't know if they can give him the ball, man. And that's offensively. Defensively, man, it doesn't really get much better on the defense for Georgia Tech. You're talking last in the ACC in tackles for loss and sacks. They allowed over 400. They allowed over 400 yards per game, 432 to be exact, and 32 points a game, giving over 38 points, I believe, 4 or 5 times. Crazy. The one bright spot for the defense, they are returning 20 of their top 21 tacklers. And they got the 4-2-5 scheme going for them. I mean, again, they're returning a bunch of experience. I don't know how much of that experience is top level talent. Six-year senior David Curry, linebacker, probably the leader of that defense, had 97 tackles last year. Maybe the best player on the defense. It's between him and maybe their safety they got back there is the best 2 players on the defense. I don't know how much talent is returning with those 20 guys that's coming back. Again, for a defense that was that bad, how big is the jump? You would have thought that the defense would have been the one spot on the team to kind of hold it up. But then again, with the offense being as inept as it was last year, defense was probably gassed and tired. Again, didn't watch a lot of Georgia Tech games, so don't know how the season really played out for them. But that's really all I got for Georgia Tech. Like I said, on paper, man, there's really not a lot to be worried about if you're an FSU fan. But let's get into some Florida State stuff. We know quarterback James Blackman, running back is going to be Ja'Shawn Corbin. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole depth chart here. But what I'm going to say about Florida State is, as far as this game goes, the only hiccup I see in this game, the only problem that I think will present itself is going to be offensively, and it's going to be finding that rhythm, consistency, and cohesion that I think that offense is going to need. I don't expect FSU to put up 50. I don't even expect 40. 40 points would surprise me, and I think that would be a great sign going forward. Because remember, we have Miami the second game of the season. Not next week. We get a little bye week after this game, but then we got to get ready for Miami. You put up 40 or 50, that's very positive going into that Miami game. I don't expect that. I think this game may be close for a half. You might go into halftime 17-14 or something like that, because I don't know. Offensively, I just expect some miscues, some miscommunication, things of that nature. The jitters. I mean, you got a whole new offensive line for Florida State. Not necessarily whole new, but you're starting a new center. You got a new person at guard. You got a new right tackle. So again, that's 3 out of 5 positions of guys who are in a position change or starting at Florida State for the first time. So it's going to be a little tough. Expect a little bit of bumps and bruises in that first half, maybe throughout the game for Florida State offensively. Ultimately, I think we come away with the win, and I think we come away with it fairly comfortable. Definitely a double-digit win. I'm thinking of over 14 points, but I don't think it's going to be this pretty well-oiled machine that some people maybe predicted. You know, I've seen people out there saying FSU 45-10, stuff like that. I expect the defense to be tremendous in this game, especially with the offense I'm looking at. Not worried about the defense. My worry would be maybe the offense giving the ball up, fumbles, throwing that thing. That is what worries me when you talk about this game. Only team that can beat Florida State in this game is Florida State. We're too talented. I mean, across the board. Let's go into position matchups. QB. James Blackman ain't setting the world on fire, but James Blackman is completing way over 45% of his passes. FSU gets the nod at quarterback. Running back will be the only position I give Georgia Tech. And you might say, what? We got Corbin, we got Webb, we got a bunch of guys who we all think are extremely talented with bright futures. None of them are proven on the college level. Corbin is limitedly proven, right? He's a little bit proven, but he's faced injuries in his so far college career over at Texas A&M. But we have seen, glimpses of good things out of him, but he's not even proven all the way. No, he's not proven he can be healthy or he can put together a consistent running season. So personally, I'll take 899 yards and 7 TDs over what FSU's bringing in at running back this year. Until that running back room proves itself, I'll give Georgia Tech the nod at running back. Wide receiver, come on, Tamarion Terry, Warren Thompson, Keyshawn Helton, not even a debate. O-line, I'm gonna get now. That's the big question for us, right? That offensive line. Until I see the offensive line in person, in game action, blocking live, but not. We know FSU's defensive line is live bodies. Don't get me wrong, but seeing them block an opponent, right? And not some vanilla scheme, like seeing some real time stuff there. I'm gonna give this an even. I'm gonna wash it out. I think Georgia Tech's line is, again, it's a line that may have been a good offensive line for the triple option. They struggled last year in traditional blocking schemes, and again, I'm gonna give that an even. I don't know which line is better until we see it. I can't really call FSU's line better than anybody if we're being honest. So that's an even to me. Tight ends, Florida State. Cam McDonald alone is better than whatever Georgia Tech's putting out there. Defensive end, Florida State. Defensive tackles, do we even need to say any more? Linebackers. Now, I talked about David Curry may be the best linebacker on the field from a production standpoint on either side of the ball. However, I believe FSU's linebackers as a group will be better. So I got FSU, DBs, come on, FSU, special teams, FSU. Across the board, with the exception of 2 positions, I have FSU as having the nod. So, again, this game shouldn't be close. This game, on paper, this should be a blowout. We're more talented across the board. However, we are debuting our new head football coach. We are debuting a new system, debuting some new offensive linemen, debuting a whole stable of new running backs. None of the running backs on the roster, with the exception of Dante Sheffield, have taken a snap. Like, that's crazy to think about. So you got to take all those things into consideration. Thinking a slow start, strong finish for Florida State. College Football News has a 27-17 prediction for FSU. I don't necessarily quite think it'll be that close. And I don't know if FSU gives up. I mean, you're telling me FSU is going to give up 2 touchdowns to a team, to a quarterback that can't complete more than 50% of his passes. I find that very hard to believe. My personal prediction, 32-13. That's what I think FSU is going to do this game on Saturday. We're going to put up 32, but that defense is going to shine. And 32-13 is my prediction. And yeah, that's what I got here today for this preview and prediction show, man. Hit the like button, man, if you like what you're seeing. As the season continues, you know you're going to get this every week from me. I'm thinking about even going live after the game if you want to tune into that, and we'll talk about what we saw, what we liked, and what we didn't like in the game. Go do a little live stream after the game. Thought about doing lives during the game, but I'd be too into the game to really fool with it during the game. But we'll see. But that's all I got today on our preview and prediction. FSU 32-13. We're more talented across the board. But Georgia Tech, you know, they're year 2 into their system, and we're year 1, so that could cause a little bit of rift. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, in the comments, tell me what you think. Drop your predictions in the comments. As always, support the channel if you would like to. Share the content, but drop those predictions. Let's talk about what y'all think. You know, what do we think FSU's going to do? Hey, this your boy, Polk County Noel. And like always, stay classy, Seminoles. And we out here. Go Noles, baby. It is time. Game time, season time. Let's go.